Before I begin, I must state that Metamorphosis, also known as Emergence, is a graphic adult-rated series. It appears on the surface as a form of fetish manga, but the story within is appalling. There are subject warnings on the screen as of now, and I heavily advise you to read through them all before continuing this video. To this day, I have not covered a story like this. Chapter 1. March 8th, Middle School Graduation Day. I, Saki Yoshida, after spending 3 years at middle school, graduated without making a single friend. How did it end up like this? A loaded, foreshadowing question. Classmates talk amongst themselves, discussing summer plans, but Saki sits by herself, discussing how her anxiety got the best of her social skills. At first I was invited a number of times, but I was always afraid, and I declined every time. I feared that if someone like me joined them, I would get looked down on. Saki describes how her anxiety had formed from fear into annoyance towards social groups, before finally evolving into self-loathing, and she was finally done with feeling this way. She wants to be involved, to be a part of this fun, bright world. Saki goes home and, with the help of her mother, heads out to begin the process of recreating herself, and they return home. New haircut, makeup, and no more glasses. Her father being too shocked to even properly react. His shy middle schooler is now a dolled-up freshman, and finally he stumbles out a compliment. Saki Yoshida is now ready for high school. April 7th, first day of high school. Saki introduces her new self, and the class is overwhelmed with who this girl has become. And after class, a group of girls invite her to hang out with them, and she officially makes her first group of friends. Isn't this what you call hanging out with your friends? I even promised to go out with them on the weekend. I did it. Tomorrow's a day off, so I need casual clothing. What should I do? I got an allowance from Mom to buy some clothes, but I guess I should buy a fashion magazine too. Saki heads inside, but can't wrap her mind around fashion and the models on the covers. She picks up one magazine to inspect, when suddenly, a man appears behind her. Oh, is that the latest Mon? I was looking for that. She freezes up. Before her makeover, she didn't even have friends, but now, she has friends, plans to hang out, and an older guy is talking to her. She goes to hand him the magazine, but he instantly declines. Oh no, God will smite me if I took away a magazine from such a cute girl. Saki's mind becomes overwhelmed as he continues to flirt, telling her that she's prettier than all of the models in the magazine, and finally, asks her to hang out. Thrilled with how life has turned out for her, she accepts and meets the man at a KTV, which hosts private karaoke rooms. So now Saki and this man are by themselves in a private room, and immediately, he begins giving her alcohol, telling her that it's similar to juice, but much better. And before she knows it, she's drunk, and the man makes his move on the now ex-middle schooler. She realizes that she doesn't even know his name, but it's too late. He kisses her, and before she can even process her very first kiss, he then displays in his hand what appears to be a form of ecstasy. It's something that'll make you feel good. I don't know about it, Saki. Everyone's doing it, you know. I wanted to refuse just then, but I wasn't able to. The man puts the drug in his mouth and then instantly kisses her once more. The drug is now absorbed into her drunk body, and for the next several pages, they have intercourse. You watch as he tears her hymen, but soon, she's too far gone to care anymore. The drug causes Saki to believe that she's genuinely found her soulmate, that this man is her everything, and her future. To Saki, she's not just having sex, but sharing an intimate, wild moment, one that she desperately wants more of. But the man simply just insults her, degrades her, finishes, and takes a picture of her body after they're done. Hey, listen, I don't think I introduced myself to you yet, but I'll leave my cell number on your phone, okay? I'll call you when I want to play with you again, so answer, right? See you again, Saki. Congratulations on losing your virginity. In the end, I regained consciousness when the store people entered the room. I panicked and I ran out. My head's still spinning. Oh, the entrance light's on. I wonder if Dad's mad because I came home so late. Oh, a message. It's from that guy. Saki, let's play again next time at a hotel until morning. Does that mean I made a boyfriend? So, he's called Hayato. Chapter 2. Saki and Hayato have been dating for, now, a full month. Hayato, by this point, is feeding her those pills constantly, and she's beginning to show early signs of addiction. Hey, one more? Can I get one more, pretty please? You already took one, didn't you? It's not enough at all. Please? Jeez, you're hopeless, Saki. You really like those pills, don't you? He promises her dates multiple times a week, but all they end up doing is sleeping together, while he feeds her those pills while degrading her. And, in her high, she accepts her place. Back in high school, Saki begins to notice her troubles with her conversation skills. Her anxiety still lingers in the back of her mind. I think I'm doing okay back at school, but unlike when I'm with Hayato, I have to think about the conversation's flow and what I'm going to say. I don't really have the confidence to keep up. Her friends are discussing fashion bags and jewelry, but Saki is left confused. But that costs money, doesn't it? Oh no, did that make me sound poor? I shouldn't have said anything. Soon her friends begin to tease her about not having a job and coming from a spoiled family. So, that's how people see me. Once done teasing, one friend mentions how Saki could make some cash. You want me to share this really awesome gig with you? All you gotta do is have dinner with these old guys. It's totally easy. This quote-unquote gig is only slightly different from actual prostitution, being referred to as enyo-kazai. It's the Japanese language term for the practice of older men giving money and or luxurious gifts to attractive young women for sexual favors. The female participants range from schoolgirls to housewives and is roughly translated to compensated dating. Think of it as how we view sugar daddies and sugar babies. The friend pipes up and corrects that it's technically not that, and you could just tell the businessman no. There's some really stubborn geezers, but if you threaten to blab to their family or the cops, they'll shut up right away. They're the ones who will get in trouble if it's found out anyway. It's a piece of cake. So, want me to invite you to the site? Yeah, please. Saki goes on her first date that weekend, and an obese old man takes her out. He calls her cute, and she can't help but feel a tinge, similar to when she first met Hayato. Wow, even though I'm being complimented by an older man, it doesn't feel bad. Nice to meet you. Kumataro, was it? Oh, just call me Kumagai. There's no need to be so nervous. Relax, okay, Saki? Instantly, the man makes a move on her. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be firm and tell him no when he does this, right? But rather than pushing him away, Saki feels different. He pushed her boundaries, and now she can't help but begin to shut down. He takes her to a high-end restaurant, and she's left speechless. Saki is over her head, and never taught herself how to communicate her boundaries. After they have dinner, Kumagai takes her to a hotel in the city. She attempts to stand her ground, but he dismisses that nothing will happen. Calm down, Saki, I just want to have a little smoke. I'm getting tired from all this driving. If you don't want to wait, you can walk home from here. Left to either accompany him up to the hotel, or walk all the way home in the dark city, she joins him. Eventually, Kumagai makes another move, but this time, he pulls out a large wad of cash to give to her. I don't mind if you want to go home, but could you keep me company for a little longer? You're registered on that site, so you understand, don't you? A wad of cash? Are these all 10,000 bills? Just how much is there? And if I have this much cash, I can buy anything I want. I just need to get this over with and forget about it. Saki accepts the payment, and Kumagai proceeds. She is uncomfortable, grossed out by his hygiene, and is at times confused about his body. She has only been with Hayato, and along with that, she had only been with Hayato while being high. But now it's her first time sober, and she's beginning to realize she doesn't want this. She doesn't want any of this. Not without the drug, at least. But Kumagai was just beginning. And finally, after he's done, Saki goes home and is scolded by her mother. If you're going to be late, I told you to call home. Saki, what's wrong? Saki's distraught, but she can't confess. She doesn't know yet that she was just assaulted. Her mind only thinks that she was having intercourse for money, a transaction, and she can't tell her mom that. Attempting to apologize, Saki ends up breaking down crying in her mother's arms. Whatever happens, Mom will always be on Saki's side, she says, as she embraces her daughter. Saki returns to school, now decorated with top-of-the-line fashion accessories, and her friends are amazed, but deep down, she's full of regret. And suddenly, hey, Saki, something I want to ask you. Whoa, I'm getting approached by a guy. Yesterday, I saw someone come out of the hotel near the Harbor Bridge. The classmate pulls out his phone, and on the screen is a candid photo of Saki and the businessman in his car. This is you, isn't it, Saki? Chapter 3. By the most unfortunate side of fate, Saki was caught going on a compensated date with an older man, and in order to prevent her secret from being released to the whole school, she is being blackmailed by a group of guys. She outright tells all of them that she will not have intercourse, but she will perform sexual acts with them. However, gossip begins to spread. She becomes distant from her friends, constantly bailing on plans, just in order to fulfill her blackmail. Hey, don't you think that Saki seldom goes out with us lately? Yeah, you're right, she's always close with the guys. Acting like a princess, huh? She's getting cocky, isn't she? Micah said she's been fucking with the guys in our class. But for real? Just because she looks a bit cute, she would even do that? Well, the rumors were not only about that. It is true that she got so popular among the guys, though. You know what? It seems like she got carried away. Yeah, you're right. What are we gonna do then? Yeah, we gotta do something. Saki returns home after school, to her father having a family meeting. As of that day, he had just been restructured within the company. Eager to step up to help, Saki suggests that she could get a part-time job, but is immediately told no. You have to go to school. Don't play around too much. Focus on your study. I'm worried about you. You don't have to worry so much, Dad. That's right, dear. Saki is a grown-up woman now. Something clicks within her father. His daughter, a grown-up woman now. Her makeup, her skin, her stylish clothes, and that skirt. Immediately he stands up and stutters that he's going out to buy smokes. Did Dad ever smoke before? No, just leave him. Let's eat. That night, Saki is up late studying in her room when her dad opens her door and barges into her room. Drunk, her father walks over and suddenly slams Saki onto her bed. You really look exactly like your mom when she was young. First, he kisses her, and then he proceeds to assault her. He soon discovers that she's had intercourse before and interrogates who she lost her virginity to, now upset that he couldn't be the one to take it. She tells him about Hayato, and after he's done, he tells her to go to sleep. And from that point on, her father assaults her every day, regardless if the mom is in the other room or not. Back at school, her blackmail continues, now learning that the boys record her performing acts on them, and the videos will be deleted if she sleeps with them. So, in a dark hallway in the building, she continues to keep her secret private. She returns back to class to find her desk has been completely vandalized with remarks about herself. She looks around the room hurriedly as her anxiety kicks in and tears begin to well up. All Saki wanted was friends. Now she's indebted to half the guys in school as they keep recording her. Her boyfriend drugs her, her father molests her, and she can't find the words to stand up for herself. She races out of the classroom. I gotta go somewhere where no one will come before I start crying for real. I'll go home. That's right, there's Mom. I'm sure Mom will help me. Slap. Saki arrives at home and is immediately slapped across the face by her mother. The father had come forward and confessed to it all. Well, confessed in a way to make him look innocent. that Saki had made a move on him when he was drunk and seduced him. Saki attempts to speak up but is immediately screamed at once more, before suddenly being punched in the face. Blood gushes out of her face as her mother grabs her by the hair. She begins landing punch after punch across her daughter's head and screams at her to get out. Saki races to her bedroom, sobbing as she packs her clothes. "You said you would always be on my side. I don't want this anymore. I've had enough with Mom and Dad. I don't want to stay here anymore." She looks up from her suitcase. Her phone lays on the charger. An idea pops up, and across town, we find Hayato at a grungy hidden bar, doing lines of coke with a credit card. "As expected from Obata, you stocked really nice stuff here. Quit with the flattery, just make sure you pay, okay? You haven't fully paid your last month's debt. If there's no payment next week, you will end up deep in Tokyo Bay." Suddenly, Hayato's phone vibrates. A text appears on the screen. "I ran away from home. What should I do now?" "Nah, don't worry. I'll get the money soon," Hayato says to Obata. "Really? You've been going out with someone?" "Nah, just a friend with benefits," he says. Hayato then responds to Saki's text. "Come to my house then. If you're in trouble, I could lend you a hand." A new message comes across his screen. "Thank you. I don't have anyone but you now. I love you." Chapter 4. We see the inside environment for Saki's new home. Sleeping until noon, trash littering the floor, and drugs lay scattered about. Suddenly, Saki wakes up fearing she slept in for school. But Saki's been staying with Hayato for a while now. This is a new chapter for her, and a part of her new life with Hayato is that she no longer attends school. That's right, I don't go to school anymore. I'm living with Hayato now, and we make love to each other every night until dawn, and we sleep until noon. I'm not like these kids. I'm in the grown-up world now. Hayato takes her to the bar that he frequents, and Saki is mesmerized. She's never been to such an adult-looking environment before. "So, this is Saki, the one that you were talking about. She is a cutie." "Oh, that's not true," Saki blushes. "No, really, you're a pretty good woman, you know. It's almost a waste that you're with a brat like Hayato. Man, you're harsh, Obata. Anyway, give us the usual, please. For Saki, too." 2 small bags of cocaine are put in front of the two, as Obata says that Saki's is free. But she's never seen something like this before. Hayato shows her how to line up the drug with a credit card, and then gives her a straw and tells her to snort. "It's easy, as long as you do it all at once." Is it her first time? Oh, she's really gonna feel it then. I'm scared, but it looks like I can't refuse. Be an adult. But she barely gets halfway through before immediately recoiling and bending over. Hayato goes to finish her line himself, but Obata instantly grabs his wrist, thumb against the center nerve of his wrist. "You haven't paid last month's tab yet." Hayato attempts to stutter out an excuse, but Obata squeezes harder. "If you keep taking me for a joke, I won't let you off the hook with just a broken bone or two." Saki, unaware that her boyfriend isn't the best of people, steps up. "Did Hayato do something bad?" "Bad? This fucker used my goods without my permission. Normally I would have killed his ass, but I'm giving him a chance to pay me back." How much?" "At least 8 million then." "Hey man, it went up." "Yeah, interest, dumbass." "I didn't know Hayato was in that kind of situation, but..." She speaks up. "I'll pay." Both men look at her, shocked. Saki feels indebted to her boyfriend. In her mind, he saved her life. He is everything to her. "I'll pay back Hayato's debt. It's the only thing I can do for Hayato. While she does have money, she can't pay his debt off all at once." They're about to agree when, suddenly, oh, look, it's taking effect. Saki is suddenly overwhelmed with feelings. Ecstasy, euphoria, jitters, excitement. It becomes too much and she accidentally wets herself. Obata counts her money and declares that she's going to have to get more customers if she wants to pay off the debt. "Customers? What? How else are you going to make that kind of money? We heard it from Hayato, you know. The only thing you're good at is spreading your legs, right?" "That's right. She let her classmates screw for free," Hayato says. They even uploaded a video of it on the net. And now, she learns that everything she did against her will was for nothing. Her classmates blackmailed her and then shared videos and pictures of her regardless. Saki is feeling a mix between earth-shattering sadness, anger, and despair at the words that she heard from her boyfriend, all while trying to withstand the powerful drug. He turns around and gives her a quick sweet talk, telling her that he will accept her no matter what, obviously only caring about the fact that his drug debt is being paid off. But Saki isn't able to connect these dots. To her, Hayato is her hero. You're so nice, Hayato. I'll work hard for Hayato. Yeah, do your best, he says. He turns back to Obata. Let's see, 30 G's for 2 hours, 100 G's for a night. I don't mind taking care of getting customers. Nah, I'll do it. I'm the one who found her. It's at this moment that we begin to possibly see that this was the plan all along. Saki was just a pawn from the beginning. Hayato would have drugged any girl and told her that she's special and that he loves her, just for her to fall in love and sell her body for his debt. Then the quote is 30 G's a week. If you fall short, you know what happens, right? The cocaine inside Saki makes her completely sensitive. Every touch is a million times more blissful. The man from before at the bar pays, and he has his way, knowing she's underage. In the middle of the act, Hayato dumps out his bag of coke for Saki to snort. Obata warns that it's too much and it might break her, but Hayato just brushes it off. The man at the bar pushes her head into the pile of coke and demands her to do it in one go. The drug has an instant effect, unlike before. Her eyes bulge out, bloodshot, and she foams at the mouth, bewildered at the way her body is reacting. And her mind begins to slip. She begins to hallucinate that sparkles and stars are all over her body, before losing her ability to speak. The man finishes, and her body falls to the floor, shivering as she continues foaming. Shit, this is hilarious. That's way too much foam, you overdid it. Hayato ignores the scold and looks to Tetsu, the other man. So did you bring it, Tetsu? Yeah, I brought it with me from the shop. And suddenly, a small case of surgery tools is displayed in front. Tweezers, scissors, and scalpels lay about. You can do any part you want with this. Nice. Man, you're always into fucked up shit, Hayato. What's wrong with it? It sort of feels like I'm leaving my mark on a woman. That's what I like about it. Is Saki going to consent to it? One of them asks as Hayato grabs Saki's twitching face with his hand. She listens to everything I say. Saki, listen, I really like your ear piercings. Do you want to try and get piercings for even more spots? I really love that sort of thing. But Saki is far from reality, teetering between conscious and overdosing. Her mind has no sensible thought to it. Piercing? Hayato? Piercing? Once piercings? And just the slightest touch sends Saki overboard, as we watch Hayato force piercings into her chest. But he's not done. Don't overdo it or else people won't buy her. Don't worry, I'm only gonna do 1 or 2 more. Then, Hayato moves her legs out and shoves a piercing into her. She screams in anguish as her body revolts and jitters with ecstasy. Every touch was a million times more sensitive, and with him piercing her most sensitive area, she seizes and then collapses. Whoa! Maybe I should get her some ink next. Don't overdo it. I told you it's alright. You worry too much, Obata. You want to get a tattoo, don't you, Saki? Oh, she's passed out. Fast forward. Saki is now blonde with a butterfly tattoo across her lower back. She's in a hotel with a customer as she preps herself for the night. She leans down, snorts a line in the bathroom, and texts Hayato that she won't be home until the next morning. Okay, make sure you get the dough. Don't worry, I got us 100 G's with options to come. I booked you for tomorrow, don't push yourself. Okay, thanks for worrying about me. You're so nice, Hayato. I love you. The next day, as Hayato mindlessly plays a video game from the living room, Saki is in their bathroom, holding something in her hand. If there's a line, it's positive. She looks down at the test in her hand. Saki discovers she is now pregnant. Chapter 5. Saki begins to connect the dots. She's been missing her period for 2 months now. Between all of her customers, who's the father? When did it even happen? But her biggest concern is, what will Hayato think? It's Hayato, he would understand. Hey, Hayato? Hayato? Hey, are you listening? I have something really important to talk about. I got a baby. Did you get that confirmed? Yeah, just now. Then get an abortion tomorrow. I know a good place that'll do it quickly. What do you mean? Sorry, but you understand, right? I don't like the thought of it being someone else's kid. I want you to birth my own kid. Yeah, you're right. He rubs his hand through her hair, petting her. A physical embrace that Saki fell in love with early on in their relationship. As he pets her, she feels pure love for him as she cuddles into his lap. This is her forever, her hero. I also want Hayato's baby too. Right? So let's just be patient for now. Yeah, I'll do just as you say, Hayato. Immediately he changes topic, mentioning that business isn't blooming as it used to be. I'm kinda screwed if you don't go out and find customers. Me? Find customers? Yeah, you've got some, right? Connections with that old geezer? Already Hayato falls back on his promise to find customers instead of Obata. Uncommitted, he's now forcing Saki to go do it instead. Of course, Saki promises to try her best. He pets again before shoving her head down to his lap. She complains in jest that he always makes her do this, but he ignores the banter. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go out drinking with some younger people, so... Got it. Is 10 G's okay? So little. I won't be able to eat anything decent. Don't be so stingy. Give me 30 G's. Got it. You really are a good woman. A line that means nothing to Hayato, and everything to Saki. The next day she goes to the clinic, and she gets an abortion. She gets undressed, and we see that Hayato had made her get a tattoo of his name upon her chest. She lays down in the chair, and the doctor gets to work. Deep down, she regrets it, as a tear falls down her face. Eventually, Saki lands a customer, and it's no other person than the old man from the very beginning. He's bitter now that she ghosted him, and borderline disgusted with her appearance. This isn't the Saki that he assaulted, this is just some chick. You sure have changed. You're like a different person. Last time you seemed... how should I put it? Fresh. What's with the new look? Is that what your boyfriend's into? Saki just reminds herself that he did pay generously last time they met, so she ignores his passive aggression and the rude remarks. I'm doing it because I like it. Is that true? I don't really want to say this, but you're not that type of girl. Are you getting fooled by some bad guy? Do you have something on your chest that you can't tell your parents? Despite how I look, I've seen a lot of bad guys. You can consult me if you want. Regardless of his attempts to soothe her, Hayato is still her hero in her mind. Hayato's not a bad guy. He's good looking, he's mature, and he's kind. He tells me that I'm cute. I've never felt happier in my life than right now. She finishes ranting and begins telling him the costs. But he decides against intercourse and chooses the cheaper option of 10 G's for a quick session. Astonished, she mumbles out about how he gave so much money last time. Saki, I think you're mistaken. You are right. I compensated you a lot the first time. That was because I thought the pure, innocent you had a lot of value, but now, you're just devaluing yourself, Saki. Dyeing your hair blonde, making your skin black with tattoos, getting piercings. The prostitutes around here have more worth than you. This is the first time someone has devalued Saki. The man just ends up becoming sad and goes to leave without them doing a session. But he offers her the payment all the same, just so she can have food in her stomach. He opens his wallet to give her some money, and she notices all the cash he has on him. She becomes obsessed, not only because of the money, but because she demands to keep his opinion of her in high regard. She yanks at his shirt and begins to beg for him to stay. Please, I don't have any money. There's the debt, and it costs a lot of money to get the abortion. Please don't go. Please, I'll give you a discount. I'll do anything you say. He sighs. He tells her to lie down, and then demands her to degrade herself. She mumbles and gruts out insults about herself. He leans over, and she immediately notices his body odor, just like before. It, now, has somehow become worse. After they're done, she texts Hayato, but he doesn't respond. She leaves the hotel and heads to Obata's bar, despite it being closed. She walks in and is immediately yelled at by shady figures in the dark. They approach her, about to rob her, when Obata steps out. "Hold it. It's fine, she's with me." They leave her alone and Saki asks if he's seen Hayato, but he hasn't. The mysterious people begin asking about her, if that's his girl. "Oh, her? She's a friend with benefits. She comes to the store once in a while and lets me have a go with her. You guys want a piece of her?" She pushes him away, telling him that she's only looking for Hayato and doesn't want to do anything tonight. But, in Obata's mind, Saki has a debt to pay. He grabs her and begins asking if the guys want her. One man says he'll give a discount on the drugs, and that's when we learn that these aren't just thugs, but mobsters and drug lords. Saki accepts that she has new customers, but before anything begins, "Hey, Saki, since you're here anyway, I'll teach you a new way to have fun. So let's relax a little." He looks at a mobster behind him. "Get a dose ready." The man walks into another room, cuts open a pack, puts a pinch into a spoon, and puts a lighter underneath. Obata walks over, grabs her arm, and holds the syringe full of heroin above her. "Don't be in such a rush. You're about to feel many times better than you ever have before." "Really? It won't hurt?" "Don't worry. Loosen up." And the syringe enters. Her eyes widen. The drug enters into her blood, and she feels the effects immediately. "What is this? I didn't know something like this existed." The customers begin their session, but in her mind, she's in a completely different realm. Her body is floating in an endless ocean, purely in bliss. Her hair changes back to its original color, her tattoos and piercings vanish, and this is the one moment that Saki feels like herself, rather than this version that Hayato created of her. An innocent smile appears across her face, her eyes closed. She's happy. "My body and heart's filth are being cleaned away. I just want to be here forever. Such a nice feeling. This is the place I've been seeking." In reality, she's unconscious. The men finish with her body. "Damn, how boring. What should we do? If she doesn't wake up, let's just throw her out in the back with the garbage. She'll go home on her own." She finally comes to, noticing the trash bags around her. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time she's been thrown into the trash heap. She gets up and begins to worry about Hayato and her money. She turns around and begins digging for her wallet and finds that the mobsters had stolen all of her money, along with her underwear, her cell phone, and her drugs. She returns to Obata begging for some money, all while not having money for the weekly quota. He scolds her that he doesn't just give out handouts, but she can earn some cash. He offers her a wad of cash, or a bag of heroin. Addicted to that place of peace, to that place where she can be herself, she ends up taking the bag. After their session, Obata scolds her for not taking the money, but Saki's too in love with the feeling of peace. Knowing she's addicted and will return endlessly, Obata gives her a free additional bag. Saki returns back to Hayato's apartment, and he begins screaming and berating her. "What the fuck do you mean no money?" "I'm sorry, I had it, but I was robbed." "Robbed? Then go earn more before coming home. I'm fucked without that money, got it?" "I'm sorry, I didn't think..." Hayato begins raiding through her stuff, grabbing her wallet, and threatening her if she's hiding something. And hiding something she is. Her little bag of dope, given to her by Obata. But he doesn't believe her story at all. "See, work's hard. It takes the edge off. It's only a little, really, but I'm doing it all for you, Hayato. I'm just stupid and I screwed up." Suddenly, his hand reaches out and grabs the side of her face. He whips her head against a wall as he screams and insults her, and he sighs and then kicks her out. He's done with her. She begs and claws after him to forgive her, shocked that he would say something like that. After everything they've done together, everything they've experienced, everything she's put her body through was all for him. And now he's done with her? He grabs her by the arm and throws her at the front door, along with a handful of clothes. The door slams. She whispers his name, hoping he would answer and let her back in. But her words fade into nothing. She texts him, telling him that she loves him, but she's blocked. What do I do? I've been abandoned. She sits on the steps of his apartment. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, no money to her name. Another girl walks by her, in similar attire, and heads upstairs. As Saki walks away, we hear the girl say, "Sorry I'm late. I was so shocked. You never call me over to your place." Hayato has already replaced Saki's role in his life. A new money collector has been found. Saki wanders into the streets of the busy city, makeup and tears running down her face. Hungry, cold, and going through withdrawal, she finds a playground at night to get another hit. She sits on a slide, ties her arm, and injects once more. Bliss. Her body begins to feel the sensation she felt with customers, and begins to relieve herself before two homeless men approach her. One man talks to her with concern, telling her that she'll get sick and possibly assaulted. But the other man begins flirting, and in a rush of her high and desperate for money, she blurts out, "One round's 150, anything goes. You game? Do we look like we've got that kind of money? All we can offer is cold food and a cardboard bed." And Saki agrees. The first man sighs in disappointment, but the other begins to have his way. He undresses. He's covered in diseases. She yells that she'll get infected, and he simply laughs and agrees that she will. The first man, while at first was disappointed, decides to join. The drug takes over, and she cares no more about her health. In her mind, she's back in her happy place. She's middle school Saki once again. The session ends, her high leaving her unconscious, and they carry her away with them, promising her a meal. When she awakens, she finds herself wrapped in a dirty blanket and is surrounded by rundown buildings. A shantytown. Homeless man number 1 walks over to her with a bowl of warm food. "Hey, girlie, I got you some hot food. You got nowhere to go, right? Well, you don't gotta worry about food or bedding here. A lot of the guys ain't been with a woman in a long time, though. So here." She looks down at the bowl of food. This is the first time a stranger has been genuine and kind to her in a very long time. Warm food, comfort. She takes a whiff of the food. It smells nice. All of a sudden, Saki throws up, dropping the bowl on the floor. She tries to keep it down, but she can't. She vomits all over the ground, ruining the food, but she can't seem to stop. Finally, she takes a deep inhale to catch her breath, as homeless man number 2 walks over. "Hey, enjoying the hot meal? Whoa, who yacked?" She started spewing like you wouldn't believe. Didn't like the food? It didn't even touch her lips, man. Then what? Is she pregnant? Given her job? Oh, you've got a point. Saki rubs her abdomen. They're right. I felt this sensation before. I'm pregnant. Get another abortion? Go through that again? Tears form in her eyes. She can't put herself through that experience again. She didn't even want to do it the first time. Shit. Is that how it is? Well, I don't blame you. You're still a kid. No way you want to have one on your own. What are you gonna do, girlie? Abort it? I guess you would. Probably cost a pretty penny, but you should be able to. I'm keeping it, she mumbles, her eyes drifting off, staring into space, staring at us. I won't abandon the baby inside me again. I'll quit doing drugs. I'm keeping the baby. It might be hard, but I'll do things right this time. For this child's sake, I can change. The final panel, with Saki's body covered in her vomit and ragged clothes. Her face carries one of a different feeling. A feeling of hope. Chapter 6. The chapter starts off with Saki and another homeless customer inside of a cardboard box. He gave her money and that's all she cares about right now. Well, that and her baby. The man keeps insulting her as a mom and keeps insulting the baby, but Saki doesn't care. She needs this money. It's time to save this money and build a new life. Finally, after the session is over, Saki feels something. A kick. She's excited at first, but a sudden pregnancy pain follows after, and she tumbles over. She needs something, anything for the pain. She can't bear these pregnancy cramps any longer. She looks over at her wallet. A small bag of heroin catches her eyes. She fights terribly hard to resist, but the pain is overwhelming. Just the smallest hit and she'll relieve herself from the pain. She keeps trying to convince herself. She injects, falls on her back, and goes unconscious as she apologizes to her child. Later, she's wrapped in a jacket wandering the streets. She makes some turns and comes back to Obata's bar, where the mobsters from before are hanging around. "Excuse me, I'm Saki. They said if I came here, Obata would sell me some." "Listen, you won't meet Obata anymore. He's not around anymore. Got it? If it's money, I have it. It's not much, but just for a little." "What's with you? You having withdrawal?" The mobster scoffs and hands her a small bag. She thanks him, but he just kicks her away from him. What an awful state. She's already done for. Saki runs to a set of lockers and lays against them. She takes another hit, telling herself it's only for the pain. She turns around, taking the cash that she received for that week, and opens a locker belonging to her. "I can't waste the money. I will need it for this child. Because my belly is like this, less people want to pay, but this is the right thing to do." And suddenly, from behind Saki, "Whoa, this bum is loaded with cash." From behind her is a group of teens. Teens that she once was associated with, went to school with. Her ex-friend yelps in excitement about how much money she has, as others make passive comments about appearance. Saki slams the locker shut, and the teens begin accusing her of getting the money from stealing. She tries to defend herself, stating it's from work, but they ignore her, labeling her as a thief. She knows that only trouble will come from them harassing her, so she makes a grab for her stash of money and tries to run off. But one boy puts his arm around her and throws her to the ground. Wads of cash fly out of her bag. They begin to steal the cash from her, while continuing to call her a thief. "It's not your money." "It is my money. Please, it's money I'm saving for my baby." "You stole someone's money for what? A baby? You don't make a brat from the filthy community." The ex-friend raises her foot into the air and brings it down, pressing onto the womb. She keeps shaking her stomach as she continues to yell obscenities at her. "You disgust me. How can you be fine with disgusting people like this? Don't you have any common sense?" The girl lets up, and the boys begin to strip her. The girls tell them to hold her arms so she doesn't get away. She presses her shoe against her lap, and she pushes it down. This society doesn't need you. It doesn't need your rotting body. Due to the pain she was inflicted over the time that has passed, her body connects pain with bliss, and the group soon picks up on it. Every single one of them begins kicking and stomping her, laughing as they mock her for reacting. "Looks like you'll get a disease if you put it in," one boy says, and another girl stops and pulls out an empty bottle. "How about this?" She inserts the plastic bottle as the others continue kicking. Through her body reacting, she screams out for them to stop, that her baby won't live, but they only continue beating her. Finally, they let up, telling her to die, that society will benefit without her. Blood pouring out of her body, they contemplate seeking medical attention for her, but instead, they walk away, her money in their hands. And she stands up, beaten, bruised, broken teeth, and nude, and she begins walking to the public bathroom. "It's okay. It's okay." At first, you think she's trying to calm herself down, before realizing that she's trying to tell herself that her baby is okay. Her words of affirmation turn into worried questions, and she looks herself in the mirror. I am. Somehow, I am. She stares into the mirror, into this unrecognizable Saki. This can't be her. She was just a grade school girl who wanted friends. This isn't her in the mirror. She begins sobbing. She leans down to pick up a pair of glasses on the ground and puts them on. In between sobs, she looks back in the mirror, and she's met with reality. This is her. This is that grade school girl who just wanted friends. And this is the aftermath of Hayato, a man she once declared was her everything, who only thought of her as a chance to ease his debt. And she loses it. She lunges at the mirror, screaming, tears pouring down her face. The glass breaks, and she looks back. And there, within that broken, shattered mirror, is the real Saki, a girl who has only experienced pain, and now she can only wish to return back. But she can't. She sits on the cold, hard ground. I'm sorry. Blood pours out from between her legs. She now understands her reality. She has nowhere to go, and so with the last remaining amount of energy that she has, she reaches into her bag and pulls out the bag of heroin from earlier. Tears stream down her face as she places the syringe in, her glasses still on her face, her body covered in bruises. Saki slips into unconsciousness, slips into that place of peace, one last time. Suddenly, it's the future. A grown woman with short black hair snaps out of her trance. Are you still sleeping? Are you okay? Does it hurt somewhere? The mother and child are on a bench in the park. The sun is shining, leaves are shaking in the wind, and this is Saki Yatsune and her daughter. Years have passed. Mama just remembered something that happened in the past. In the past? It was from before Hana was born. Oh, was it something fun? It was terrible. You see, Mama hated herself then. Why? What was it? Maybe because Mama still didn't understand how to care about herself. I cried a lot. Is that so? But now it's all right. Mama doesn't need to cry anymore, Hana says as she rubs her mother's hair in a petting formation. She hugs her child close. You're right, because now I have you, Hana, because you were there for me. Mama could make a fresh start in life. And the screen fades back. A final panel shows Saki's glasses on the floor, drops of blood, and dope surrounding it. So, what happened? The story ends there, leaving us to ask ourselves, was that future actually real? Or was that her final glimpse into her imaginary place of peace, alone? Many speculate that Saki did actually overdose and pass away in the bathroom. However, it's an open book ending. In my theory, I decided to go with the fact that Saki did actually survive. And here's why. Because it fucking helps me sleep at night. No. See, whenever Saki would use heroin, her place of peace carried 3 consistent factors. Number 1, Saki would seem to de-age herself in her fantasy world, and would float in a sea completely nude. Number 2, her hair would return to its standard black color. And 3, her tattoos and piercings would fade away. Yet, at the very end, the last few panels display a much older, matured Saki, rather than her middle school self. Her hair, while back to its black color, is now chopped and shorter. She's covered in clothes and is in a realistic situation, rather than the imaginary ocean. She's fully dressed, so while we can't see if the tattoos are gone, one small, nearly useless factor underlines that it might not be fantasy. Her ears. If you look closely, you can see that in multiple panels, her ears are pierced with small studs. However, when in her place of peace, she never had piercings. Now, this is such a small factor that it's almost pointless to reference. But then, why would the artist purposely refuse to draw piercings when she was high, but then draw them in every panel when she's supposedly grown up as an adult? But if there isn't enough evidence to save Saki in your mind, if she is dead to you, then I provide you with an alternate ending. deemed canon by the community of metamorphosis. I present to you, I'm gonna fix that girl. Saki's body lay against the cold bathroom wall, her body bruised and bloodied, the recent injection she gave herself beginning to course through her veins. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm such a failure, she says to her unborn infant. I had given up all hope. I thought I had nothing else to live for, but then... Holy shit! Josuke, look! There's some pregnant girl lying on the ground here. She looks like a crack whore, but damn, I think she's gonna die. You better use your stand to heal her fast. She looks pretty messed up. I don't even know if my crazy diamond can fix that mess. But I'll try. Josuke Higashihara and Okoyasu Nijimura from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure walk into the bathroom, surprised to find Saki in such a state. Knowing she's close to taking her last breath, Josuke makes a courageous attempt to heal her. Crazy Diamond reaches out and grabs Saki as we watch her body begin to stand back up. I'm alive. But how? Saki stammers as she looks into a different mirror. She removes the glasses as she watches the power take over. The bloody, bruised face heals back to a natural, soft skin. Her hair turns back to its natural color as it hugs her ears and drapes her shoulders. My face. It's all better? She whimpers out in confusion. Holy shit, she's fucking beautiful. What the fuck? What's happening? Who are these guys? It's hard to explain, but I've had this ability to heal people for as long as I can remember. You and your baby should be fine now. Take care of yourself, alright? The two characters begin to walk away. Their job here is finished. Saki runs after them, thanking them endlessly, explaining her troubled past. Suddenly, Mama! A child yells. A grown woman with short black hair snaps out of her trance. Are you still sleeping? Saki embraces her child Anna, and they go on to live their life. Saki smiling as she thinks about her saviors one last time. Metamorphosis shocked the internet in 2016, and continues to disturb readers to this day. The subreddit r/177013 carries many vents and rants about what they experienced. In fact, one of the top text posts in the subreddit is a compilation list of numerous alternate endings where Saki either refuses to go out with Hayato, resulting in a butterfly effect that blesses her life, or that she decides against trying to be social and cool, and finds true love after graduating high school. Someone even created a chatbot based around Saki that you can talk to, but I would reckon against using it. Feels like a good way to get your information stolen. However, as I lurked through the subreddit, I came across an iceberg, and according to them, they state that metamorphosis is merely the tip of the iceberg towards disturbing adult novels. If you're up for it, if you think you can stomach it, then a video may come out in the future based around the novels that are deemed far more disturbing than Metamorphosis. But for now, try to have a good night. There's also a fanfic where Vegeta kills Hayato and Goku kills the father because, hey, it's fanfic, who gives a shit? Father, just do you think you're doing? Coughs out his blood. Goku, die. He punches him directly in the chest and kills him, stopping his heart. This kills the father.